Hello, this is Mr. Kiwi. I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to use two of the databases to conduct the research for your final research project. You can access the library either through Blackboard, or if you go to Quick Links here and go down and click on Library, that'll take you right to it. So once you're in the library, you want to go to this box here that says Find Articles, and it has databases down here in parentheses. So you want to click on that, and there's two databases I'm going to show you. The first one is called Opposing Viewpoints. Opposing Viewpoints is very appropriate for this assignment because you need to be able to understand both sides of the argument. You need to understand the reasons that people would give that would disagree with you, and this allows you to look at some articles and information that does just that, which will help you write your paper. So we're going to click on that. It's going to ask you to put your username in, and it tells you how to do that. And you just log in. Takes a minute. So I hope you're all doing well during this coronavirus situation. Okay, so we're at the website now. So this is Gale, or it's Opposing Viewpoints. It's pretty easy to search. One thing you can do if you want is if you go down here to click on Browse Issues, and you know what your topic is, you can look through this, and you'll notice this is just a huge list of topics. You can scroll through in here, maybe you can find your topic here, or if you're not sure about a topic, you can kind of look through here to see what kind of ideas you can get. And as you can see, this thing goes on forever and ever and ever. I was trying to see if I could find one that I was kind of interested in. Well, one of the topics is, should all sex offenders have to register? So here is a link to that. You could take a look at that. Just trying to see what else there is. There's all kinds of stuff in here. So we can take a look at that one just for fun. Now what these do is it's kind of nice. It'll kind of give you this overview, and it kind of covers both sides of the issues and what people are talking about. You can look at that. There's featured viewpoints, and what you'll find is, like, here's one that says it's failing. Here's one that they're effective and should not be challenged. And there's 5 of them here, so you can look at all 5. Here's one that low-level offenders should be removed from sex offender registries. I click on the 5. It should give me all of them. Okay. So, one called punishment that doesn't fit the crime. So these are all articles that have kind of different points of view on this topic. All right. So now another thing you could do is, and this is probably what you're going to want to do anyway, is do a search. Okay. So let me just try something. One of the topics was body modification, and should that be an issue for let me try body modification and see what it says. Okay, body modification. You could click on that. And surprisingly enough, there's a lot of, well, These viewpoints are kind of interesting, so you could take a look at those. There's 8 sources here. There's some references. There's even a video. And if you use a video, you know, from one of these sites, it's actually a valid source. There's a whole bunch of articles. There's 8 articles from magazines. So anything that's in here is fair game. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see what we doing here. Well, let's just take a look at this one for fun. So you might look at this. This might have something to do with that. It has something to do with work, and you might want to take a look at that. It gives you, here's some other topics that might be interesting. This one I'd look at, barriers to opportunity. Let's see if that has to do with body modification. Okay, so again, the nice thing about this database is that okay, so this might have something in there or not, I'm not sure. But here's some other related subjects, so you can always look at those. Now, the nice thing about these articles is you can, let me move myself down here a little bit. You can, if you want to listen to it while you read it, you can do that. You can change the font size. If you want to translate it into another language, all kinds of languages you could translate it into. You can listen to it. So now the nice thing that you really need to know is these buttons right up here, these little tool buttons. If you're on here and you want to send it to yourself in your email so you can read it later, you can. You can download it to your computer. You can print it off. You can make highlights in the text and save it so you know what the information is that you might want to use. So this opposing viewpoints is pretty easy to navigate. You know, I've given you all the topics, so some keywords are in those topics. If we went with physician assisted suicide, see what we have there. Okay, all kinds of information on that one. Different viewpoints, a lot of them. This is a pretty hot topic, so plenty of sources here. You can use infographics if you want, those kind of things, an audio. There's newspapers, magazines, statistics are really good. You can use anything here. There's even some websites that you can go to. I'll allow you to use websites out of here if they're posted here. So you'll notice that this is really accessible information. It's all kind of in one place. These are these subsections here. So let's do this. All right, so this one, assisted suicide disregards all medical ethics, because I want to show you something else here. Okay, so let's say this is an article you want to use. Well, the one thing you're going to need is that full MLA bibliographic citation to put in your works cited, and I'll be posting some information about that. If you go up here, there's this cite button. And that gives you the MLA, Modern Language Association, citation. You can use some of these. Another way I usually do it is I just copy this, and then I'll open up a Word document. I'll have it. So we just have to wait patiently for the Word document to come open. Come on, come on. Get a blank document, a brand new one. Now this is actually pretty cool. So you can paste this citation, and then what you can do is you can go ahead and, so the format's not right on these citations in the works cited. These last two lines have to be indented 5. So there's an easy way to do that. You can just highlight all of this. If you're in Word, you can just go up to paragraph, or you can go down here. It does the same thing. Right click, go to paragraph. Okay, so there's this where it says special. If you hit hanging, and these are supposed to be double space, we'll just 1.5 is fine. Click OK. Now you have a perfectly formatted full bibliographic citation in MLA format. Now, you should kind of keep this document, because if I go to another website or I find another one, I can just keep plugging these in and you don't have to reformat them. They'll just automatically follow this same format all the way through. So this is a little tutorial on using opposing viewpoints. I'm going to show you another one called Academic Search Complete. And Academic Search Complete is a gigantic database. It's the first one. If you go to A, we go to Academic Search Complete. So one of the topics that I listed there is pit bulls, which seems to be a very popular one. So Academic Search Complete is a very big database, and I want to show you a little bit how to do limiters and some things like that. So the first thing you should do in this database is go down here and click on full text, because some of the things are just summaries or what they call abstracts, which really don't work for a source. So we could just do a simple search up here and type in, oops, pit bulls, just for fun. Let's just do a quick search, see what happens. Well, we got 377 hits, which is a lot of hits. You don't probably want to go through all of those. So what we're going to do is go down here, and probably what I'm going to do is squeeze these publication dates to maybe like the last 9 or 10 years. And let's see what that does. Okay, that takes it down to 147, which is better. Now, I probably wouldn't use academic journals on this one because they're very hard to read. I would probably go to magazines or newspapers. Well, let's go to magazines. Okay, so that takes us down to 55, and that's still quite a few. You could scroll through there, you know, and see if there's some things you want right off the bat, like pit bull specific prohibitions and in several cities. That might be really interesting to see why they did that. Here's one that says Maryland finds them very dangerous. So even if it's 55, you might want to just scroll through and see if there's anything interesting. We could, if we wanted to, we could narrow our search a little bit. I don't know, let's just type in the word dangerous and see what we come up with. Do a search on that. Now we've got 2 terms. That takes it down to 9. Now 9 is a lot more manageable, but you could go back and try different search words and stuff. So as you can see, Academic Search Complete is also a really good source. Let's take a look at this one, the Maryland's High Court. And what you're going to see, it does a lot of the same things. Here you want to go over to the full text. I want to show you something else. I'm going to go back for a second. Okay, when you click on an article, it's also going to have subject terms. So these might be other words you want to use in a search to find other things. So these are kind of nice because actually you can just kind of click on these and see what happens. But we're just going to go to the article on this one. Okay, so on this is kind of interesting. So you can listen to the article again. And this one, if you want to listen to it, you actually get to pick the accent if you'd like. If you're going to go to Outback for dinner, you might want to try the Australian one first. So some people do like to listen and read along. They kind of comprehend better that way. So that's certainly an option if you want to translate to another language. But here's the article. All right, so you can save it to your Google Drive, you can add it to a folder, you can print it, you can email it, you can save it, you can create a note in the text there. But here's the cite button for this. It's the same thing we saw with the opposing viewpoints. So if I click cite, it's a little different. I'd have to scroll down to MLA, but I can still do the same thing. I can copy this, and then I can go back to that Word document that I had open earlier. And I would just do this. If it's an article you decide you're not going to use, all you've got to do is delete this. But once you've got it, you don't have to go look for it again. So we can do that, and we're going to paste it, and you'll notice how it just falls right into the format. Now, of course, you're going to learn about a works cited page. These have to be in alphabetical order. That's a simple cut and paste move. So I think this will give you a pretty good start on how to manage these 2 databases, and both of these would be very, very relevant for this assignment. Of course, there's opportunities for you to ask me questions. You can email me. I'm actually going to post a phone number that you can call. I hope this gets you started on your research and gives you an understanding of a little bit how to do these citations. Very easy to do. We're not going to try to make this any harder than it needs to be. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be posting all the information you know to get through this assignment. And stay safe and try to stay healthy.